Alright, so we're back. We're gonna start the Silver Knot story. Let's see how that goes. Silver Knot, hold on, shake off that snow. Hills and valleys, she has roamed every step through high and low. So I'm not sure if this is when she's her younger years when she's the ley line researcher. Query in the halls.
Okay, all set.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. We're all here. WingSong sets aside the notes in her hands. It's still too early for anyone to have arrived in the lecture hall.
This place feels colder than the Dayashki.
So cold here, and there's a different shade of gray to this place compared to Ryashki. Even the lines in the room seem sharp to slice off the tip of my fingers if I dare touch them. She holds her wrist with the other hand and attempts to steady its uncontrollable trembling. This always happens when she's nervous. Now breathe, WingSong. She draws in a long breath, feeling the crisp air fills her lungs. It brings back a vivid memory of Ryashki. Are you leaving already, Comrade WingSong?
Yes.
I'm afraid so. Lots to do and so little time to do it. If everything goes smoothly there, I might be able to return before the kids come back from the foundation. Off of our publicity tour for Ryashki, eh? Make sure to tell them about all the wonderful things we have here. Yes, they must come and try our yuccas and the potato stews too. Speaking of which, have you prepared anything for the road, Comrade WingSong? These words are like signals, suddenly a peripheral package are thrust into her arms from all directions. Oh. Before long, her arms are filled with cheese in all shapes and sizes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. This is a generic amount of cheese for one trip. Ha, I see what you're getting at. Of course, we can't have you eating nothing but cheese the whole time. More packages are shoved into her arms. Beetroot, a large ham, a portable gas stove, and a lonely wood sock. Take care, Comrade WingSong. Safe journeys, Comrade WingSong. The steamship's horn sounds, echoing through the bay of the mountains in the distance. They stand tall and gray, the silent guardian of the town and its people. In the lingering echo of the horn, the ship departs from the dock. WingSong looks back at the shore. The people of Ryashki are still there, waving to her. She managed to wave in return. The wind becomes more biting, and the snow stings her face. She waves until the town and its people fade from sight, and heads to the cabinet with her luggage. She remembers traversing land covered in snow and lush vegetation, passing the Tower Mountains and open bay. She changed from ship to train, from train to car, and despite her best effort to keep the cheese wrapper intact, they started to fall apart. Just like her memories of Ryashki. Her heart sank at the thought of that little town, the entire place gone, and these cheese some of the last things left to prove it ever existed. She takes out one of the packages, takes a small bite, and carefully wraps it back up.
WingSong. Still believe you have a home to return to.
She runs her fingers over the wrinkled wax paper. She rubs her face and straightens up.
Forget about it.
Come on, not now. You got a speech to give. Let's see, I'll start with a brief introduction of myself, then move on to the history of the study of ley lines, followed by... Hmm. They may have some questions of environmental analysis for me. Or perhaps they'll ask about the geographic condition of Ryosuke. Better to keep the geography map handy. Here it is. What else will they want to know? The nature of ley lines? That could be one. She hears some distant chatter coming from the end of the hallway.
Hmm?
She stares at the door. The muffled argument quickly becomes clearer, and soon, two researchers from Laplace's uniform steps aside. Look, I don't want to be mean, but I brought this to you a long time ago. You were very... The argument comes from a sudden halt as they lay eyes on her.
Welcome, comrades.
Are you both here for the lecture? Please take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. She gestures towards the chairs, but one of them walks straight up to her. Are you giving the lecture today? Are you the lay hunter?
Yes.
Well, give it away. You can call me WingSong. A lay hunter in real life? He leans towards her as if inspecting a specimen in a glass case. Before WingSong can react, he speaks again.
May I ask?
May I ask you a few questions? Why are you still studying ley lines?
Hmm?
Because... Oops. She opens her notebooks, but it provides her with no answer. That can't possibly be your major project, can it? So what is it, then? Geology? Environmental planning? No, Her only studies have been, and will always be, that of ley lines. Only the study of ley lines.
Yes.
She relieves that she can finally give a positive response. But the two researchers exchange a bewildered look.
But
Miss WingSong, I don't think there's much research or many studies concerning ley lines these days. Well, there aren't any if we are honest. Who's funding it? Are there going to be ongoing projects or publicity?
I'm not sure that.
I haven't seen any studies that include ley lines in their research. Is the study of ley lines considered a scientific discipline, or more of an arcane one? Which journal or publisher do you usually send your paper to?
Why?
And what made you stick with it? WingSong responds with a bitter smile. Well, it's a long story. She hears more footsteps coming from down the hallway. One after another, researcher follows into the lecture hall. WingSong feels the curious eye of some as they pass by. Most, however, take their sweet seat quietly. Why don't you go join the others? We'll be starting any minute. The researcher nods and steps back from the podium. He finds a seat at the place, placing his notebook on the table before him. WingSong meets his eager eyes. Will you share with us how you got into the field of study? His friends also takes a seat in the front row. The murmur slows as more and more are seated. WingSong takes a bracing breath and rings the bell at the podium. The lights dim. All eyes are focused on her. Sorry.
Welcome, comrades.
Fellow researcher, it is an honor to be here to share some ideas in the study of ley lines with you. The crowd responds with fast clasping. My name is WingSong. I'm a ley hunter. Our topic today is ley lines and environmental analysis, a geological survey of Ryosuke. She taps the keyboard and the topic emerges on the projector screen. Some of you may have heard of the study of ley lines. While the others, it may be a novelty, although not a new discovery. Ley lines are unfortunately given little attention to in today's academia. The study emerged in the early 20th century and for the next 50 years played a decisive role in other disciplines, geography, biology, and applied physics. It's helped many research in various fields, and its values in and of itself underrated. It was a desperate time. That was until Comrade Tristan Law came along. He's the genius that every discipline dreamed of having. In no more than 10 years, he brought the study to its peak.
The 21st century belongs to the study of ley lines.
Just like many other ley hunters, I was deeply encouraged by his words. Like a fire smoldering under the ashes, they got us through these hopeless times. She scans the face lit by the projector screens, hoping to see the reactions. She knows the first researcher's face. His eyes are fixed on her as she tries to understand what the story is going. Will you share with us how you got into the field of study? Before we get into more detail, I have a question for you all.
When it comes to a school of thought, who do you need more? Those that get the work done, or the ones that make it popular?
Don't worry, take some time to think about it. I'll come back to it at the end. As I said earlier, I was enthralled by Liston's enthusiasm and ambition, and became a ley hunter. It was a remarkable time under his guidance. We all had unwavering faith in his discipline. To be continued. Stage 2, top of the ivory tower. A simple word is an ignorant one. You may have grown accustomed to its ignorance, so much that you don't see it anymore, but how your brain filters the noise from your sight. Stretch your arms and legs, roll your neck, feel the blood flowing and your heart beating, and follow the passion within. At first, all you have are your primitive instincts. Your senses are overwhelmed by the vastness of the world. There's so much information to be absorbed. It's scary, but intriguing. Ripples collide and rebound, overlapped and intertwined. You can't ignore them anymore. You must find a way to communicate with them. But to where do they flow? She opens her eyes to find herself kneeling on the marble floor. She hears people's voices and knows that she's been come back to reality.
Yes.
Don't move, just stay where you are. What?
No!
No, what have you done? Nothing. Nothing. The experiment's room next to you, and what did I say about the electric ground state line? Why don't you go to the admission office and re-enroll as a novice? Perhaps if you do your studies again, you'll actually learn a thing or two.
Hmm?
What did she do? Although muffled, his roaring continues on the other side of the door. Go! We're running this again. She stares at the door. He really does have a booming voice. I can hear him as clear as day. She's still not used to the side effects of the tracing ley lines. Don't take it too hard, Comrade Alcatra. It's not personal. He's always been the loudest one in the room. Ah, Professor. Professor Onovak walks over and gives her a gentle pat on the shoulder.
Are you okay?
Jenny quickly arrives to clean up the mess on the floor. This is clearly not the first time this has happened. Winshaw shakes her head, trying to clear her mind. Sorry, Professor. I was a bit lost in there. Don't worry, it wasn't easy for any of us on our first try. A good experience, though, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Oh yes, I saw lines, each in different shape and colors. Some are straight and some were straight and rigid patterns, while others looked like a jumble of fiber. Were those the ley lines? She extended a tentative finger in the air and tracing what she saw.
Don't run before you can walk, Comrade Katerina.
So is that WingSong's original name, Katarina? Remember, there could be serious consequences if you tamper with ley lines without knowing their source.
Sure.
Yes, Professor Ivan. She withdraws her hand, but she can still feel the energy of the lines swirling around her. Once you know every ley line by heart, you'll be able to play them like a harpsichord. Do you remember what I just said in chess? Yes, we can briefly transform one thing into another by changing the attribute of the ley lines, but the object's nature remains unchanged. The study of ley lines is the disciple of authorization, and the ley hunter's job is to observe, not to create, intervene, and oppose our will of nature.
But we might find a way out for others.
By revealing the hidden clues in nature, we can lead them to the right path. Lead them to the right path. She repeats his words under her breath. How many days and nights has been spent studying and become ley hunters at this institution? All her efforts are finally paying off. I told you before, this is our last sample. The last one.
Help me!
Can you give me a hand? Sir, my fingers seem to be stuck. The lab report, the lab report, the lab report. What are those ears on your side of your ears for? Decorations?
Yes.
Yes, the whiteboard. Bring it to room 302A.
Still feeling strange, huh?
Everyone in this place is caught up with their own hectic schedule. You find your place in the institute once you've decided your own research topic. And when will that be, Professor? Haha. He shakes his head, still smiling. Take it easy, there's no need to rush. Besides, it seems your colleagues are still struggling to catch up with you, Comrade Alkendra. He gestures behind her. A number of junior researchers are sprawled out in the hallway, laying and leaning in recovery from what they just experienced. At one end of the hallway, two medical staffs quietly wheel one of them out of the stretcher. Are there any projects to find particularly interesting? The one on the Cadora super deep borehole? Or maybe the Sfoxa's rescue group? Those two are quite prominent. They're making good progress, and the higher-ups are fairly supportive of them. I think they suit you well.
No.
I'm quite interested in that one. Are they still taking new members? Has it ever occurred to you that we are safely regulated to follow here? Ah, old next project. Do you know what he's working on? Not really, but the pile of paper on his desk is impressive. Looks like the old guy's trying to build his own Tower of Babel. Don't you want to join one of the more high-profile projects? WingSong looks over at the researchers' table in the opposite corner, each fully absorbed in their own work. It's the most comfortable corner in the building, and the people sitting there are the true elites of the establishment. That one looks more fun. Alright. There will be a staff reconstruction in 6 months. If you end up regretting your decision, there'll still be a chance for you to put in a different group. Not many people can put up with old Nick, you know. Why? Group meeting, room 105, 8 p.m. Haha, well...
Who ley-lined my coffee into this thing?
No one wants to admit to such a basic mistake. The room falls into a deadly silence. Come on, which one of you rookies just messed with the ley lines in the room?
Hmm?
She tucks her hand behind her back.
I was expecting you.
Perfect timing, old Nick. Meet Comrade Electra. Cassandra. She's going to be filled to a visit in your group. Huh. His sharp gaze locks onto her. WingSong seems as though nothing can escape his sight. That wasn't me. I mean, the coffee, I think. WingSong sense a smirk lurking behind his beard.
Follow me.
Follow me, rookie. He turns on his heels and starts marching away. Winsong hastens to follow him, but Professor Almanac calls out to her.
Comrade Ekaterina?
Yes.
Yes, Professor? She turns back to face him. The professor stands beneath a huge portrait on the wall. It is a portrait of the founding father of the discipline, Tristan Lossos. In the portrait, Lossos casts a calm and confident gaze to the left, like he can already see the promise of the future. The 21st century belongs to the study of ley lines. The motion is placed right beneath his portrait. It's the first thing anyone sees when they enter the building.
Welcome to the new world.
Our new world. Thank you, sir. Snapping back to the moment, Winsong's eyes turn to her professor again. Our new world. Finally, I can make a difference. Broaden our understanding of ley lines. Lead us into a new future. She gives a solid nod. She swiftly turns around and rushes to catch up with old Nick. Stage 3, Parasites. The time is 8:29. Echo clocked in. Winsong tosses the pen aside and dangles for the string attaching to the sound-in board. Has it only been 3 months? It feels like twice as long. We're moving on to stage 3 today. She yawns deeply. She has no time to rest, but the drowsiness is only getting stronger. My jaw. Oh, I thought I dislocated for a second. From yawning. He pinches the bridge of his nose in interrogation.
Comrade Ekaterina.
Over here.
Yes.
Onika assigns the papers on the desk and sets them aside. I read your paper, not too bad for the first draft. I made a few notes that might be helpful to you. When did you leave the lab last night? A little after 2 a.m., Comrade Nicolau. I'll make sure to clock out before I left. Then when can I see the lab report? Before the end of today. Oh. Thanks for the follow, Gabs Loves. Hope your day's good. Today? I don't think so. Your schedule's packed. Is it? What am I gonna do?
Pack your things.
Hmm? Why old Nick?
I thought you liked my paper. Why can't you flip the switch and start hating me because I yawned a few times? Or can you?
What did you just call me?
Sorry, sir. Why don't you think there's no one in the lab at this hour? Well... Oh! The researchers are all crowded in front of the notice board. The project bid results has been released. I completely forgot. Go take a look. You did well on that proposal. They'll be smart to have you on their list. And if they don't, you still have a spot at the arcade exhibition team. Have a look at mine for me too. If you're not too busy celebrating any good news, that is.
Sure.
Sure thing. The board is layered with paper detailing old announcements. The latest one is pinned on the top, listing the project that has been granted national funding. Please, I have to get through. Sorry. She can't see past the crowd in any direction.
Are you alright?
Is that you, Comrade Alcantara? Want a sip? It's vodka. You must have been put through a lot working with old Nick. I'm okay. Ouch. That's my foot. Sorry, comrade. The crowd pushes her around. She holds onto Yelena's sleeve to keep herself from falling.
Alright, let me see.
We're packed tighter than a can of sardines here. We shouldn't have come so early. Alright, let me see. Where's our concerned hamster project? Gerbils? Comrade Elena, they're gerbils, not hamsters. Yeah,
You're going
yeah.
to Tariga?
I can hear you. Gerbils. Gerbils. I don't see any gerbils here. Oh, there's your name. You're going to Tariga? More people pushes in, squeezing them out of the crowd. WingSong noticed that most of the people who are already leaving has satisfied smiles on their faces. Clearly, they are content with the outcome. You can't be serious, Calandra. Maybe you got the destination wrong after staying up late all week. All the effort you put into that bid document just to be assigned to Targa, the place where even vultures struggle to survive.
Yes.
Yes, Comrade Linda, I read some interesting accounts about that place. It's calling out for exploration.
So you'll ride the goat across the mountains to become a shaman queen in the wilderness? Oh my Katarina.
Elena, dramatic, buries her face in her hands, unable to fathom the hardship. Don't worry about me. Were you selected too?
Yes, I'm going to Frankfurt.
Definitely an upgrade from Targa. What's happening over there? Lexi and the boys. Seems like they won the bid too. Lexi? I thought he was working for... Oh, Calandra, you should really come to the pub with us more often. You miss out on everything. He left the Carrera Super Blue Borehole project a while ago. Now he's his own boss, running a project with his own people. What's it called? Something like a ley lines perspective on quantum field theory and its application on energy conversion and transmission. Oof, quite the mouthful. Quantum field theory? But we don't have any optical labs here. Where are they going to do experiments? Who knows? I'm sure Alexei will find a way, you know, with the help of his family. His old man wouldn't bat an eye at the bill required to build a new lab. You wait and see. With his article getting published one after another, there's no doubt that he'll be made director of some department soon. And there's no other disciple to get such much love from the journal editor as ours does. People put a lot of faith in ley lines, you see. But people like old Nick can't stand when academics catch corners, so you never would have heard any of this from him. I see your point, Comrade Elena. I know what you're trying to say, that passion from the populace can sometimes be a threat to scientific vigor, but it also gives us an edge, don't you think? Do you remember the village we visited? The chief must have been a Varagian, stubborn guy, but even he granted us permission to explore near the village when we said we were ley hunters. Yes, but that was because he wanted us to see if we were gold miners or oil beneath the village. Yes, my dear Alexander, and we probably still be enjoying the saunas in their beta if you haven't broken the truth to him so quickly. But let's not argue over the past. In the end, we successfully completed the task and gathered enough materials for the report, didn't we? It's true the chief didn't get the news he wanted, but at least we secured our spot in the institution. And it was all thanks to that report. She recalls the chief's furious expression and piercing gaze as she looked at them as if it was a pair of frauds. The memory sent shivers down their spine. Well, what are you going to do in Frankfurt then? There's a new project in the hydrothermal mineral deposit. I've had enough of the cold up here in the north. It's time to go somewhere warmer for a change. Sounds good. I heard that they had some nice hot springs there. Maybe you could give them a try. Yelena gives a joyful smile. You always get the best advice. I don't know. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for any gifts. Maybe I could bring you something back. Sausage or some apple wine would be perfect. How about you? Would you like a cub? Bear cub from the north? Haha, you can spare me that one. Take care. We won't be seeing each other much for a while. The lightly touched cheeks and WingSong watches Alina drive away. She realized that the hallway has become quiet again. Having checked the results, the crowd has long gone. But WingSong has one more thing to check. She doesn't see old Nick's name on the first page, so she flips to the next, and then the next, until she finally finds his project on the last sheet. Then she noticed the yellowing paper beneath. Successful agricultural in developing country, a lean line and endless. A lean line perspective on effectively and heavy industry and optimism. Prospect and development theory and applications. This is the world of every lay hunter in the institution. She runs her fingers along the page, finally coming to a stop on the oldest one.
Here lies the history of ley lines.
She mutters to herself. So many people have tried so many things, and all at the same time, simultaneously postulate the exploration of applying ley lines to all kinds of disciplines.
Why?
But why? Most of these attempts to be only scratch the surface. She goes through them all again. Many of them were given up when the researchers encountered the first few obstacles. It's like they never even intended to dig deeper onto the subject. 2. Maybe 3. There are more than 3 topics within the same area of research. Maybe they'll come back to them when they have more data. It's still a young subject after all. But so much talent and brain power has been devoted to all of these different areas. If we just work together more, we'll probably have a wealth of knowledge by now. No wonder old Nick doesn't like it here. Stage 4, Tortoise and the Hare. The cool weather in Targa clears all other thoughts in WingSong's mind. The happening of the research institute seems distant amidst snowy mountains. It's already the end of the second month here. Today marks the 32nd day of our exploration. A new mine has been found at the pass of the mountain, known as the local as Bear Mountain. I can't stop shivering. No heating, no hot water. Turga is cruel. I better ask the gatekeeper to bring me more firewood. She pulls the blanket tighter around her shoulders. Aside from that, she dips her pen in the ink bottle. We also found a group of critters, which the local refers to shamamas, during our mining. After thoroughly examining their feathers and excrement and observing their habits and behaviors over the period of time, I believe these shamamas are a variety of a long extinct critter, the momovi. With much effort, we have successfully relocated them to a new reservation.
Thank you, Sophia.
I wouldn't have been able to identify the shamamas without your help. She's writing to Sophia, a researcher who previously shared information about the critters local to Targa with her. The correspondence is piled high on the table. Boy, that was already a sack. It's quite a stack. How many letters have you written? She pulls the letter closer to her and counts them one by one. Oh, there aren't a huge number. It's just that each of them is quite chunky. I totally get it, Sophia. Living in a place where the mailman only comes once a fortnight and cramming as much info into a letter as possible. We never quite managed to squeeze our theories into one page, have we? Today's letters, however, is since I received news that my paper has been successfully published. Can't wait to catch up with you in Yakushi. Upon writing the last words, she set the letter aside to let the ink dry. Yakutski, some say it's even colder than here. Ooh. But Sophia and those Ovakiniks are there. Definitely worth a visit. Ovanix, is that the name? Straightening up in her chair, she picks up one of the letters to check. Ha, funny that I never noticed this. Dear Carmen Akendra, regarding the critters you found. Dear comrades, in response to the previous question on the ley lines, not exactly so glad to hear from you. Take care and stay warm. Yours faithfully, type RU Sophia. Always straight to the point. If you wore a pair of thick glasses, you'll be the real Professor Stoneface. Amused by the thought, she folds the letter and puts it in the new envelope. Leave it at the door, please. And could I also get some more firewood? I have a letter for you, Comrade Akendra Arena. A letter? Today? For me? From whom? The Leyline Institution.
Sure.
I see it, thank you. What's it read?
A complaint letter? About me?
From Frankfurt? Wait, is that her friend Elena's thing? Wait, well, how does he get a complaint letter? Frankfurt, Elena? The old notice board, the smell of ink, and the conversion of sausage and wine, apple wine suddenly comes back to her. Could this have anything to do with her? The letter gives no direct answer. Do you have anything to mail? If not, I'll leave you to your business. Ah, wait a moment, comrade. Is there a bus leaving for this address today? It's urgent. Yelena and Leslie stand in the office, murmuring to each other with grave expressions on their faces.
What on earth is going on, Comrade Yelena?
They immediately turn towards the sound. Oh, it's you, Extra. Don't worry, I have everything under control. I won't cause you any trouble.
Why?
Why was I on your bid document? We are in the same group. I was trying to secure more funding, so I listed you as a co-author of the report. I should have talked to you first, but none of us would be in trouble if he hadn't followed the complaint to get back at me. Who? Some hotel owner in Frankfurt. He asked us to check if there's any gold mines beneath Hot Spring. And did you promise him anything? Oh, sure. I didn't really promise him anything. She stares at Yelena in both disappointment and anger. Don't give me that look, please, Exona. I said I'll handle it carefully and make sure your Russian remains intact. Look, I made a mistake. I'll make it up to you. Take a look at this. It's different this time. There's something really worth studying. Comrade Tristan Doyle just pointed us in a new direction. The ocean has Nimnus possibly laying within it. Professor Valamore also on board, and he hopes you can join us too. But what's there to investigate? Oil and gas? Mapping continental shelves? They'll hardly make a strong research topic, and you certainly don't need so many lay hunters to research them. But don't you want to meet Comrade Law in person? You don't get to meet the expert from the Academy of Science every day. Make a good impression, and it might help you with your future funding. You never know. He's right. Let's go together, shall we? I owe you one after all this. The ocean? I don't... It's all about seizing the right opportunity, and trust me, this is it. No, Yelena, listen. Yelena continues to speak, but WingSong only finds her voice increasingly unbearable. Yelena! She throws the letter to Yelena's feet. Could you just take one moment and think this through? Is this really the right thing to do? Yelena exchanged a helpless look with Alexei. What do you want to do then? WingSong opens her mouth. All of a sudden, she hesitates.
I just want to focus on my project.
No novel ideas and instruction. No faulting over well-connected people. She looks straight into the eyes. They are widened with surprise. Good luck finding someone who shares your vision. Do you really mean that, comrade? Oleg doesn't know any better. The silence among them becomes stifling. You can stay in your little bubble forever. There's a lot happening out there, and you can't escape from it by wandering in the wilderness. Do you have any ideas how hard it is to publish a paper these days? You got it, to earn Professor Alvan's trust, to win him over. Then he'll bring up your name to Dean, or maybe even introduce him. Or maybe even introduce you to him in person. Getting in there requires talent, wealth, and social skills. Otherwise, who knows how long your paper will sit in the bottom of the drawer. Well, maybe not that long. Someone else will probably beat you to publishing your idea. Oleg never warned me about any of this.
That's why old Nick is always old Nick. Not Professor Nicola or Director Nicola.
He's never been credited as the first author of a paper. Now, this is sheer violation of academic integrity. Academic integrity? What's the point of valuing integrity if the subject barely exists anymore? We found no new theories, theorems, or laws. We've just been verifying the existing ones, telling the world what it already knows. No one knows the subject better than we do, and we all know there's nothing sophisticated about it. At best, it's just a tool
You must
serving
understand that better than any of us.
With just a slight turn of their head, WingSong can see the notice board beside them. She remembers those projects, the history written on the fragile yellow paper.
No.
I made up my mind. I don't want to be part of this. And please don't add my name to any more of your list, Comrade Yelena.
Wait.
You can't just leave. What is it?
What if?
If you insist on not participating, you have to tell the professor yourself.
Fine.
I'll talk to him. Come in. Sir, is this a good time?
I was expecting you.
Your paper on Targa was truly impressive. A valuable case study indeed. Putting the journal aside, Professor Ivanwick greets her with a warm smile. Comrade Tristan has also read your paper. He told me he's looking forward to seeing more of your work on the upcoming project. That is why you're here, is it not? He gestures to the chair across the table, then pours some tea into the cup in front of him. Yes, sir. I appreciate yours and comrade recognition of my work, but I won't be joining you in this new project.
Why?
Why? It's a good opportunity. He paused, still holding the teapot in his hand. I understand that, but I decided on my next topic. She hands him a crumpled envelope. The professor pulls out a thick stack of papers from it.
What is this?
He takes the glasses from his pocket, puts them all, and peers at the letters. His eyebrows knit together as he reads, his eyes scanning from left to right. After a moment, he puts the letter down. Ovanik. Yes, sir. He takes on sober consonants. Comrade, I trust you to be a person of reason. There's simply no other project more promising than the Ocean Project. It's led by the founding father of our subject. Anyone who writes a paper under him will undoubtedly take a significant step at the academic ladder. Yes, I have no doubt about that.
Why?
Then why would you give up on such a valuable opportunity and choose to work in the North with some nobody instead? Valuable? It clearly has its value too, sir. Yes, an interdisciplinary study of critter ecology. It could be interesting, but
What will that project give you?
you're on the upswing of your career thanks to your paper on Targa. It's a perfect time to build connections in academia. But what will you do? But what you have here doesn't look optimistic to me. You're a smart girl. Act like one. Connections? Is this what this project is for? Do you genuinely believe it's good for my career, or are you just trying to keep everyone in line? For a moment, the professor seems puzzled.
Comrade Katerina?
If you really want to advance in the field, you'll find yourself at a disadvantage if you haven't participated in any projects primarily focused on ley lines. You know as well as I do that there hasn't been a ley line project as significant as this one since 1982. If this project succeeds, the credibility of the study of ley lines will skyrocket, as will the recognition of the researcher who has contributed to it. With all due respect, sir, all I see is a group of people who share the same passion for meeting comrade. Credibility does not interest them all that much. I don't see any diligence here, just a thirst for fame.
Your valuations are all wrong, Professor.
The professor simply struts at her sharp comment. To tell you the truth, I felt the same way when I was a young researcher myself, comrade. I still remember my first meeting with Comrade Lissel. My mentor gave me a fancy foreign magazine to bring along as a gift. I was terrified. It was terrific. It wasn't easy to get one of those back then, and I could tell it was expensive. But Comrade was very kind to me. We talked like old friends. He appreciated the magazine and introduced me to many other researchers in the following years. It's a much faster way to find your footing in the circle than publishing papers year after year. You have to understand that if he agrees to endorse your research and introduce you to his connections, your efficiency have his references added to yours. People will hold you in a high regard because of it. You'll be able to research whatever topic you like, and people will come to you for collaborations instead of you groveling to them for a job. Don't overthink it.
It's simply a social obligation. No different from greeting your neighbors when you move to a new community.
Don't let your emotions blind you, comrade. Trust me now. You'll see in rationale in a year to come. It's wisest to leave this project of yours be. He folds up the letter, puts it back in the envelope, and goes to toss it into the paper bin.
No.
She snatches the envelope from his hand. Sorry, sir. It's not just an invitation letter. My experimental data is in there too. Will you join us then? The look on her face answers to his question. You still don't understand. The sea breeze may be refreshing, Professor Anovik, but only the northern mountains wind can cool this hothead. He sighs, looking down at his empty hands. He placed them on the desk in resignation.
All right.
You have ambition. That's good. If I had a goal as clear as yours in my 20s, I wouldn't have listened to a word anyone had said either. And now I'm much too old to pursue any ambition.
Off you go, Katerina. You're still young and free.
He gestures towards the door. Thank you, Professor. Too disappointed to say anything else, he just nods in response. Stage 5. The researcher in snow. It's an ordinary morning in the Naya forest, located in the coldest part of Yokusuke. A branch from a nearby tree breaks under the weight of the snow, sending a cascade of blistering flakes to the ground. A snowy owl turns its head, its large round eyes fixed on the figure in the snow.
Sophia? Shh. You found them.
The number of Ononux in the area has reached the minimum viable population size you calculated. That was just a rough calculations. We didn't have enough data about them, so I used the data of a similar species. We need more information to run a more accurate calculation. It's already October. It's minus 30 degrees right now. Sophia blinks, her eyelids coated with white frost. Even if you can make a fire through arcane skills to keep us warm, all the roads are still blocked. As she speaks, her eyes are fixed on the overland playing in the snow. I think they'll survive until May. How long have we been here? 3 months.
Thanks to your help, the project is progressing much faster than expected.
And in the time we located their nest, investigations the surrounding and had a model established, thanks to your help, the project is progressing much faster than expected. Startled by the sound, numerous birds take flight, and the overland scrambles back to the cave.
Why?
Who's sawing wood in this weather? The local sawmill, of course. Oh. Having suddenly thought of a new idea, WingSong started scribbling on her map. The forest falls into silence again. But the silence comes too suddenly. They are immediately alert. Not far from them, behind a pile of snow-covered branches, the head of a white wolf emerges.
Sophia?
Look! Stay low. The white wolf leaps over the wood pile. It is clearly starving. Each rib is visible beneath its fur. It sniffs at the cave's opening, its tail gently brushing the ground. It's looking for food. It won't fit through the burrowed entrance. They watch the white wolf in the distance, either one daring to move. The wolf continues to pace around the cave. It has caught the scent of an overland. At its command, more wolves emerge through the snow. They gather before the cave, and the white wolf starts digging. The other wolves patrol the area, apparently looking for any entrance to the barrel. Don't! She pushes WingSong back down. The white wolf has already made a hole the size of an upper body.
No.
Once again, she places her hand on WingSong's shoulder. The wolves will get them! The sudden commotion interrupts her hushed argument. An overling dashes out of the barrel and springs into the white wolf. The white wolf howls in rage. It dives to avoid the hit and bites over on the shoulder. The two roll over in the snow. More wolves circle around, pushing and nipping at the overland. Soon enough, it's dripping with blood. We can't stay back and watch this happen. Before Sophia can react, Svensson jumps in and charges towards the wolf pack. You're not helping, you know. Sophia has also rushed over. She walks straight past WingSong, kneels before the wounded overall, and checks on its injuries. I didn't harm any of the wolves. The worried look on Sophia's face makes her makes her a little uneasy. We should head back. We really shouldn't leave any human sense here. Cuckoo?
Hmm?
They follow the gentle cooing in the barrel. A fluffy head pops out from the hole dug by the white wolf. Is that a cub? Enraptured, WingSong turns to Sophia, only to find tears in her eyes. Stop here. She catches WingSong's coat, stopping her from moving any further.
No.
We can't go any closer. We mustn't cross the line. Frightened by her gaze, the cub quickly dives back into the barrel and vanishes from her sight. Shall we go?
Mm-hmm.
She nods, casting one glance at the barrel. Let's go home. The cabin is warm and quiet. Only the crackling of the fire and the sound of WingSong scribbling fills the air. There is also occasional sound of Sophia flipping through papers.
Sophia?
Do we have any bear grease left? My fingers are horribly itchy. Still caught up in the excitement of learning about the cub, she draws a tiny anorak on the map, right next to where she found it. Sophia puts down the paper and fetches her a jar of white salve. Don't you Arcadians have some kind of magic ointment? You know, one that heals frostbite and such within seconds?
Hmm?
Probably, but I don't know much about them. To be honest, sometimes human medicine are more efficient. Can't leyline make frostbite disappear? No, they can't change the effects. Then you really shouldn't have taken your gloves off out there. She takes some grease from the jar and starts sliding on its back of the WingSong's frostbitten hands. Haha, still trying to master the art of sketching with my gloves on. And let's face it, if we haven't written down all the information on the spot, we'll still be clueless about the migration patterns. She pushes the sketch over to Sophia. Here. This is the latest illustration despite the late energy of this group and Onomix. She takes out another piece of paper. And this is a graph we drew 3 months ago. As you can see, the population significance increased, and some of them has started breeding. We made pretty significant progress in maintaining the sanctuary, but there's still a lot to be done. She points at the map but quickly pulls back her finger, realizing that there's still grease on it. The spot over there, yes, that's the lumber yard. It used to be part of the conversation area, but apparently not anymore. How long has the sawmill been there? Sophia puts the newspaper down on the paper. And this newspaper is from last week. Where's the latest one?
Comrade Yekaterina.
You can't be serious, comrade. The ranger goes to the town once a week for supplies. All the newspapers we have are a week old. We've been here for months. Did you seriously not notice all this time? She looks at WingSong with a hint of confusion. You do seem to care very little about the outside world. You barely mentioned it since we entered the forest. I was totally caught up with those overlinks. So...
They seem to be all you ever want to focus on.
Throughout this conversation, WingSong has been absent-minded drawing on the paper. It's already October, Sophia. How much longer do you plan to stay here? My work here isn't done yet. With the rate of human expansion in the area, it won't be long before they encroach the Overland territory. If I leave now, I'm worried the Overland here will be left vulnerable. I'm planning to set up a new conversation area in the spring, in a place where they and humans won't get into each other's way. Then I have to make sure they settle in well, so that be about a year from now.
What about you, Ekaterina?
WingSong rests her chin in her palm, falling silent.
Hmm?
I have to go back to the institution once my paper's done. If it gets published, people will learn about the critters here, and maybe some will come lend a hand. Just like they did in Targa. That will be just the help I need. She walks to the windows and looks at the snow outside. The ranger told us we had to leave in 2 days. They're closing off the area for the winter. 3 months. I doubt much has changed back home. Following Sophia's gaze, WingSong peers out the window and scans the distant mountains. I wonder if it's already started snowing in the institute. Stage 6. After the bubble bursts. Watch out. Make way, please. Alright, take care, Roller Storm. Thank you for the raid again. Have a good rest. Alright. What? WingSong stands frozen in the entryway. She cannot fathom what she's seeing. When someone looks on her faces, the police officers before her are carrying equipment out of the building and loading them one after another onto their truck. What's going on? Carmelina, Carmen, Alexa, what's happening here? Why are the police confiscating our equipment, and why does everyone look so subtle? You're back. How are your little critters? Looking worried, Elena forces a smile. Couldn't be better. The paper's finished, and I sent it off to the editors. Where is everyone? Elena and Alexa exchange a glance. Haven't you heard?
The study of ley lines is no more.
No more? Alexa silently hands her a journal. National Nature Studies. WingSong submitted a paper to them not long ago.
Hmm?
What am I looking at for exactly? What happened to this page? She flips through the journal. She finds 2 pages stuck together by red paint. All she can make out are the features of the familiar face of the unglued edge of the paper. Tristan Jovo.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, give me a minute. There should be a copy or two that they missed. Corruption, bullying, fraud. He's guilty of all of them. Yelena shrugs helplessly. WingSong takes another copy from Alexa. In abuse of his authority, Lovick manipulated open building, misappropriated funds from research projects, and gained millions of rupees in personal profit. His reputation was built on intimidation and courses rather than academic merit. Through manipulating experiments and tampering with the results, he secured various awards for himself. But why would this affect the entire institution? When the story came out, every project related to ley lines was put on hold and subject to investigation. The Institute currently in a state of suspension. Have you heard from the editors? No publisher will accept any journal articles on ley lines now. All the editors and reviewers who have ever published a paper on ley lines are also under investigation. We'll probably hear more about them in the coming days. Criticism all over the news. People are arguing against and even condemning the study of ley lines. What about the Ocean Project? The Bureau of Geology taking it over. What about Professor Overton and his research? He's also been taken away for an investigation. There was a joint complaint against him for some researchers here. I'm sure his investigators weren't too happy about it. Elena and I are leaving too. There's no point in wasting more time here. Cassandra, I suggest you do the same and find something better to do. Hey Roden, how's everything? So we finished the Xeno antidote, and now we're working on WingSong's Silver Note story. I think we're on. I think this is stage 6. Oh, nice. Hopefully, it was pretty good. You see those old foggies over there? He points to the corner of the room. A few researchers are in a quiet discussion, each with serious looks on their faces. They're staying. I guess they can't accept the reality of the situation. You don't want to end up like them, do you? A phone rings. One of the researchers in the corner rushes over to pick it up, but disappointment quickly falls upon his face. Is Excellenza back? WingSong strides over to him, a mix of excitement and confusion swelling in her chest. She hears a gentle voice coming from the other end of the call. Is it Sophia? Hello? Is this Carmen Kendra?
Yes.
Yes? Who's this? Carmen Kendra. This is a call from the National Nature Studies. Thank you for submitting your work to us, but we rate to inform you that your papers didn't meet our requirements for publication. WingSong looks at Yana and Alexa, who seems to already know what the call is about. They both struts. Why is that? I wasn't aware there was any new requirements. Firstly, we are unable to verify the accuracy of the data. Secondly, we are currently discussing whether we will continue to publish essays related to the study of ley lines. In the meantime, you may approach other publishers for consideration. You'll hear more from us once the decision is finalized. We wish you all the best. Goodbye. Before she can answer, the lady hangs up. Beep, beep, beep. WingSong slowly drops the receiver away from her ear, but she doesn't put it down. She is lost in thought. I'm unable to verify the data, considering the other publishers. No. Academia circles no longer acknowledge the study of ley lines, and ley hunters are no longer considered to be scientists, only arcanists. They said that it's extremely shallow, even if an arcane subject. They say it amounts to nothing more than some colorful lines and fails to offer a substantial interpretation of any phenomenon. But who would claim their subject to be the only answer to all mysteries of the world? The lay hunter walks back to his corner. Lena comes over and gives WingSong a gentle pat on the shoulder. She takes the receiver out of her hands and gently returns it to her phone. WingSong just stands there, a blank expression on her face.
Why?
How did we end up like this? Many things had to be fixed at a time, and even more needed to be closed. I had to stay in the institution for a while. Some colleagues were held by the authorities for academic misconduct, and subject to punishment and re-education. Some left because there were no longer enough funds to support their day-to-day lives. That includes Elena and Alexa. Elena found a new job as a typist, while Alexa returned to his homeland and works. They both expressed regrets of having ever studied ley lines. Outside the institution, ley hunters are seen as cult members or, even worse, frauds. They really can't wait, can they, to load us in a cannon and blast us into obscurity. Without any prior notice, on the otherwise ordinary Monday, the property lease of the institute expired. It wasn't until WingSong passes the black gate and walked to the door of the institute that she saw the eviction notice. Looks like the director's wallet is finally as empty as mine. In the past few weeks, she has lived a life much like everyone else at the institution, waiting for letters, writing replies, anticipating calls, and submitting evidence to validate her research. But today is a little different. Please hold on a second. Yes? Is there anything else you need? We're planning to move. Please write me back at the new address. I'll make sure to include it in the letter. I will. Have a good day. WingSong puts the phone down. For a moment, she wonders if she ever had conversed with a real person. The words spoken were calm and polite, but also cruel and cold. Is there anything else you need to pack, Akarendra? Not really, Director. Wait, so old Nick became the director now? Give me a break. You know I didn't become the... Give me a break. You know I didn't become the director by choice. I'd rather sit behind bars than deal with the administration work. But you do deserve the title, sir. Huh. It's more of a burden than anything. Evan, you fool, old fool. Maybe I should just hand in my resignation and let you take the reins. You'll be the youngest ever director of the Leyline Institute. A promising young woman. Whoa, no. Let's not get too crazy. She waves her hands in protest. A few people come down the stairs and pass by them. They're all wearing a gloomy expression. Come, hop on my bike. I'll give you a lift to the new office. It's quite a walk from here. They walk to the exit together. The notice board catches WingSong's eye as they pass it. Give me a second. She approaches the notice board and reaches out a hand. Why? You want to take it with you?
Yes.
We haven't gotten new bulletins here for a very long time.
Look at these. He seems to be more sensitive than I remember. It's almost comical. WingSong gently rubs her finger across the board. The paint is starting to peel, exposing the moldy black wood beneath it. I never noticed how worn this thing is. Isn't it funny how things seem to decay faster when they're left unnoticed? I read about it in a book of a Chinese philosophy, this little trick that time plays on us. WingSong grabs both edges of the bulletin board and looks at old Nikolai.
No.
Don't look at me. My back is even more fragile than my ego. Are you really going to just leave it here? Look, your old project still is on it. She points at the old announcements. Everything feels so vivid in her mind, as if it happened just yesterday. But to old Nikolai, there's now a painful memory. It may have been a project to you or me, but to Levo, it was just another way to line his pockets. Nevertheless, he bends down and lifts the other end of it. It isn't easy to carry a big wooden board down the icy streets, but slipping and sliding, they'll make it to the office. This place doesn't look very new to me. She looks around the office as she drags the board inside. The board won't even fit in here. You have to move the table to the side to close the door. Plop. Where's that water dripping from? The shabby office is filled with aging furniture, and there's mold growing along the walls. Clearly water is dripping from somewhere. This is the best we can afford now. I feel like home soon enough. WingSong leans her head back, trying to figure out where the leak is coming from. Will this leak be included in our water bill? I don't think so. Then that's good enough for me. She rolls her neck, sits down on the desk, and looks at the telephone. Just 3 steps from my seat. Good. The telephone sitting on the filing cabinet is covered with a thick layer of dust. WingSong doubts if it still works. Well, can't ask for too much right now. She wipes the dust off the desktop and turns on the incandescent lamp. Director, can we have a word with you, please? With a gentle knock on the door, 2 researchers pop their head in. Old Nikolai leaves the room, but returns quickly.
They left.
Just like everyone else. Yeah, I could hear you from there. The farewells are much calmer than she has anticipated. She opens her notebooks, squinting from the bright lamp light reflected off the pages. That corner over there is 1 wet day away from being a mold farm. It won't be long before mushrooms start growing in our lungs. Could you be a little more professional, comrade? The fungi will only give you pneumonia, not lung mushrooms. WingSong lets out a long sigh. Do you think there's still hope for us, Comrade Nikolai? His pen stopped at this question. Comrade Nikolai? Are you still working on that Yuska's paper?
Yes.
It's been going back and forth between me and the editors for a while now. First, they questioned my data, so I submitted my original report. Then they questioned my methods. So I sent them all I have, the raw data, the experimental notes, everything, and they still have doubts about it. I had to request a peer review, but everyone who used to study ley lines is gone. In the end, they just told me that they would no longer consider my submission from a study of ley lines. She leans back on the creaky chair, rubbing her eyes with the back of her hand. I just need one chance, one publisher, to have faith in me. That will dispel all the fear and suspicion, but none of them are willing to give me a shot. All this effort, will I ever see one of the papers get published again? Will people come back to study ley lines? You already know the answer, you just don't want to admit it. How could I possibly admit such a thing? Don't you refuse to give up too, old Nick? After all, we're the only 2 left.
What did you just call me?
Director? Oh, come on. They both try to keep a cheerful atmosphere, but like the mold, their gloom seems to have permeated every corner of the room. I don't know. Perhaps they'll accept your paper next time, or the time after that. Perhaps you'll find yourself the only one left in this room. WingSong pulls her hand away from her eyes. When she sees the room clearly again, old Nick is nowhere to be found. An icy wind slithers into the room. Through the gap beneath the door, she sees a shadow standing on the earth side. I told you 100 of times that you need a new lighter, old Nick. She sets down her pen and relaxes her shoulder.
This drafty old dump. It's always so cold in here.
He never came back to the office. Nor did he call. I received 2 letters addressed to him. Both surprisingly were rejection letters. I'm not sure I would have been the courage to tell him if he ever showed up, because if I had, he might never have come back again. Regardless, he never came back in the first place. Alright. The Night Keeper, Stage 7. I lost count of the number of rejection letters I received. I had long since run out of money and had been sleeping in the office for some time now. Oh. Hey Rosina. Thanks for the follow. I'm pretty good. How are you? We're just finishing up the WingSong's story. We got I think, let's see. I think we have 2 more stages left. I lost count of the numbers of rejection letters I received. I had long since run out of money and had been sleeping in the office for some time. That was my last day at the institute. It's hard to say what the final straw was. Maybe it was my last coin dropping down through the sewer grate, or the ink freezing because I added too much water to it. Or maybe because there wasn't a publisher left that I hadn't tried to contact. Regardless, there came a time when I decided that if I got 1 more rejection letter, I'll leave that place for good. I waited and waited. You know, silence is its own message. WingSong leans her elbows on the table. The room still smells of mold and damp. She gets to her feet. There's nothing really better to do anyway. She paces around the room, and as she passes the notice board, a wave of worry washes over her. It's a letter here. I have a letter for her. The mailman's voice rings from outside the door. WingSong's heart sinks. She doesn't move, reluctant to see the content of the letter. It is slid through the gaps under the door. She picks it up and opens it, just as she has done hundreds of times before. Thank you for submitting. We regret to inform you. Best regards. No need to read the rest. Oh, thanks for the stretch. Thanks for the hydrate. She examines the ink. It's clear to come from a high-quality printing machine. She already has a huge pile of letters of the same quality. This place is nothing but a ghost town, the shadow of a great era. A sudden rage boils up in her chest. She smashes the letter onto the board. So this is it. She strides back to her table and whips out the rest of the letters. This is where it dies. Bam, she slams another. The 21st century belongs to the study of ley lines. Come out and say it to my face, you traitor. All that boosting about ley lines and quantum physics, hot springs, and the Great Ocean Project? Her rejection letters now cover the entire board, completely hiding the bulletin announcing those once glorious projects. You should be the one to swallow this bitter pill. These rejection letters should have been yours, not mine. But it is her name that is written on every letter. Exhausted, she collapsed onto the floor.
Not mine.
Tears well in her eyes and falls on the paper in her hand. All us researchers, all the people dedicated to the study of ley lines, put so much time and effort into our work, and now we're all forced to either move on or starve to death. She tightly grips the letter in her fist, along with two addressed to old Nikolai. If we hadn't had people who were willing to attend social events and academic meetings, we'll never gain respect in academia. But now, they're all in jail and our reputation is utterly ruined. She looks around at the dissipated office. It's nothing like those once bustling and prosperous days. We're certainly not the only discipline controlled by bullies and scholars, undeserving by their statues. So why are we the only discipline to be brought down by this? Because... bitter smile. It's too cruel to say it. Neither the people who bury themselves in research nor the people who popularize can save it. She sits on the floor, her palm still throbbing from being slammed on the bulletin board. Then how am I going to turn the tides? For a long time, she sits there, paying no attention to the mole on the floor or the ruptured floorboards. She hates to leave, just leave, but what else can she do? She looks up at the notice board that is now towering over her.
Let the study of ley lines end here, in this cold pit, to die with my career.
She stares at it until her eyes are completely dry, unable to shed any more tear. I can't do this anymore. As the light in the room dims, she drifts into sleep.
Hmm?
She quickly scrambles to her feet. She isn't dreaming. It's the telephone ringing. She wipes her face on the sleeve and picks up the phone.
Hello, is that Miss Ekaterina?
It's me.
Who's calling? Is that the editor? She holds the phone tight against her ear, not wanting to miss a single word.
No, this is Sophia.
Sophia?
Her memories of Yukovich comes rushing back. Yes, it's me. Now that the weather's warming up in Yakuzis, would you like to come back and continue our research? Research? She looks around the office. The mole has crept its way to the center of the ceiling. Have you heard about what happened here? She asked the same question that Yelena and Alexa asked her on the fateful day. A little bit here and there. I also heard that you had a tough time getting your paper published. I'm in a bit of a jam here. There's too much work for one person. Would you like to come and lend me a hand? But the study of Leyline has been...
Whatever happened, doesn't matter now.
After several moments of painful internal struggle, WingSong speaks again. Your research may be disregarded if they find that you're working with ley hunters. It's still better than stopping altogether. There are critters' lives at stake. I'm not sure about this.
Comrade Ekaterina.
You can figure the rest out when you're here, comrade. Aren't you worried about what people might say?
They've got nothing to do with our study, Comrade Ekaterina. You should focus on a more compelling subject.
Sophia's determined tone surprised her.
Sophia?
She feels a bitter sorrow in her throat. She holds the receiver tightly in her hands, as she is holding her dear friend. For a moment, a genuine fear grips her. What if all this is a dream? Tears well in her eyes again. They drop on the desktop and glisten like the morning frost.
You are right. We should meet in Yakutsk.
Her fingers ache from the clenching, but she is determined not to let go. Yakutsk, I can't wait to go back. I had to pull the study of ley lines out of this cold grave. I won't let it die like this. Once again, she looks at the notice board. Her heart feels lighter. Finally, there's a new path before her. We're almost at the last part. Yeah, Abby. I just wonder when do you get back from work? Eight, comrade. Let's see how this ends. The hall is silent as the researchers listen intently. WingSong takes a sip of water before speaking. So right now they're back to the present where she's doing the lecture, since the event-wise made her like famous. So the prior story ones were just how somehow her ley line department got all like well, let's see, what's it called? Yeah, the ley line thing got like defunded, or got in trouble because of one of the guys doing that were doing like fraud and stuff like that, and like lining up his pockets. By now, perhaps you have By now, perhaps you have your answer to my question.
When it comes to a school of thought, who do you need more? Those that get the work done, or the ones that make it popular?
A shiny metal arm sticks out from the audience. Yes, the comrade in the back.
I think that...
The root of the problem in your story seems clear.
Because...
The decline of the study of ley lines was caused by those who exploited it for their personal gain.
So,
the people you need more are those who truly care about the subject. The answer is quickly refuted. But the study of ley lines always lacked a proper barrier to entry. The composure of researchers are quite diverse and rather loosely defined.
what if...
Had there been no one to actively publish it, those people who worked to build it respectfully, hardly anyone would have taken seriously in the first place.
I heard that.
Those people, it was those alone who made the subject famous. I heard he was even invited to teach in some other countries. More and more people joined this discussion. WingSong had to raise a hand to return order to the room. Thank you all. I understand where each of you is coming from, but my answer differs slightly from yours. Before the session started, a pair of comrades came up to me and asked two questions. Why are you still working on ley lines, and what made you stay? What is the study of ley lines exactly? Is it a science or arcane subject? She types the word science and arcanum on the screen. Today, most of it has been buried in the sand. People can only conjure a vague image of it through stories and records. So is it science?
Sadly, there is no doubt it's under the category of arcanum.
To many people, ley lines are not even an objective phenomenon, nor are they consistently variable. Many theories regarding ley lines can even be cross-examined using scientific methods. She shakes her head rudely.
Yet its arcane nature is not a sin, or the reason for its decline.
No. It was undermined by the high hopes that people held for it. They wanted it to be the ultimate solution, the answer to all their questions. It was doomed to disappoint them. It had its heyday. It even flourished. Many believed it to be a path of our next great advancement, until the dream was shattered by the cold reality. It's an arcane subject with very narrow application. It can never stand on its own two legs as a sensitive field of study. People abandoned it because it didn't offer the solution they sought.
It had drawn too much attention it didn't deserve in academia.
She sees a few nodding heads in the audience.
But I think every researcher, no matter their field, is an explorer, wandering wherever the truth may lie.
We could go in the wrong direction, get lost in the wild, and start all over again. This is the point we're at with the study of ley lines. This time, I hope to find a new path for it. It may be rough, muddy, and full of danger, but we must take the first step. There has been many breakthroughs and advancement in the last few years, and I sincerely congratulate you all on these achievements.
And I always hoped you would think of this path whenever a mountain stood in your way. Perhaps it could be a detour, leading you to the destination.
This is why I'm still here, as the last ley hunter. WingSong looks at the first researcher. Let's go back to my question. When it comes to a school of thought, who do you think need more? Those who get the work done or the ones that make it popular? The truth is, I think neither of them are that important. But Sophia made me realize that the only way to keep the subject alive is to let people see it for what it truly is, to understand it and acknowledge it. Networking and connection making won't keep the subject alive, and if we only focus on writing academic paper, we soon find out ourselves in financial trouble. For now, they're both unimportant to the study of ley lines. She paused, giving the audience a moment to process the information.
No. What it really needs is a genius. One that can extend the path and bring our study to another level so people can see its true value.
Like Newton to physics, Einstein to relativism, Watson to biology. May the genius we need is among us in the very room. This is the only reason why I stayed in the field.
I insist.
I hope that people will learn about ley lines from the report I written and the projects I participated in. I will keep walking this path, and I hope to see you all along the way.
Thank you so much.
That concludes my lecture. Thank you. She bows to her audience. At first, there were just a few scattered claps, but the applause quickly turned thunderous. Miss WingSong, please wait here. Madam Lucy will join you in a minute. Sure. The staff member puts down a bottle of water and leaves. WingSong looks around the empty office. Never thought a lecture would be so tiring. She pulls over a chair and sits by the window. At times like these, she finds herself thinking of Ryoshiki. The people who embraced the study of ley lines from the beginning, and the people who saw her as family. To think that the storm could take away a world is almost too absurd to be true. There are strange footsteps coming from the hallway. WingSong looks towards the door. Knock, knock. Without waiting for an answer, the door is opened.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Miss WingSong.
So this is the new character. I'm not sure if she's in the next banner or the banner after. As soon as she entered the room, Lucy plugs herself into the power socket.
Thank you so much.
Yep. She does have a face, but I'm not sure. I think we'll find out in the banner. Madam Lucy, thank you so much for inviting me here for the lecture. The pleasure is ours. I believe you have many questions to ask, including about the storm in Ryashiki. Yes, ma'am. Her face turned serious. What exactly happened to Ryashiki and its people? It was not just Ryashiki, the entire world has been wiped out by the storm. To put it simply, the world they lived in has been reversed to a time before its existence.
Would you feel better if I put it this way, Miss WingSong?
If I made it sound like... Wait. If I made it sound like we still had a chance to undo all this.
But we hold on to some hope.
It is true that we may have found a way to stop it from happening again. We have people here using every ounce of their knowledge and every means possible to find a way to end the occurrence of the storm. This is also the purpose of Laplace. We need your knowledge.
We need your knowledge, Miss WingSong.
We need your help to end the storm. To end the storm? Her voice carries a bitter amusement. Your heart rate and body temperature indicates that you are having an emotional reaction. Are you angry, Miss WingSong?
I
missed my only chance to save my friends.
No.
That was not your only chance, Miss WingSong. I'm not asking you to end it yourself. I'm only requesting a ley line report on it. More storms will come, and we need you to help us see them clearly.
We will eventually find a way out of the storm.
And when that time comes, we will find a person with the means to end it. WingSong unclenches her fists.
That is why I'm inviting you to join Laplace.
We need your expertise to improve our chances of putting an end to these tragedies. The Laplace will fund your project. More people will hear about ley lines, the story behind them, and also the story for you, Miss WingSong, the last ley hunter. We cannot change the past, but we can decide the future.
The future. It is such a beautiful word in humans' eyes, and they attach to it the most wonderful fantasies.
It will not be easy to have the future of the study of ley lines resting on your shoulders. A light flickered across the slit of her face.
However, you have done an exemplary job so far, Miss WingSong.
WingSong hears the ring of the telephone, an echo in her mind. She takes a few steps forward and extends a hand. I'll accept your invitation. She smiles, looking what she believes to be the robot's eyes.
I look forward to working with you, Comrade Lucy.
So we finished her story, but we're going to do the battles now. Collect our rewards. Wait. Oh, I still have to do those. Okay. Survey. Now we're doing some more fighting. Got WingSong. Let's see.
I belong to this set.
Alright, so what's this?
Dental checker.
A good point. A new hypothesis. The benefits of field mapping. Calculating distance.
Intersect and divide.
Shin.
Relax.
A good point.
Thank you for your cooperation.
No other study could show you this.
Oh. It could be found.
A new hypothesis.
Given that. Uh-huh.
The benefits of field mapping.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
I'm trying to see what her special was going to be.
Who ate beans? Given that.
A good point. A new hypothesis.
Time to check my calculation.
Calculating distance. The benefits of field mapping.
Let's see.
A good point.
It could be found.
A new hypothesis. Confirm the coordinates.
Oh, there's a bubble.
Taking another look.
Ah, frozen.
No worries. Relax. No worries. It's not a scented lingering. When it's in peaceful moments.
A good point.
Given that.
Calculating distance.
Time to check my calculation.
No, we survived. Let's see her special now.
An academic question.
It'll all be fine.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Behold.
Victory? Okay. But what does it mean to us? I mean, what does it...
What was her special anyway? Let's see. As a debuff. Okay, that's why I didn't do much damage. Alright, I guess maybe I should stop rolling for her and just wait for the next pattern.
Keep the sample.
Relax. It could be found. Time to check my calculation. Stop.
If I do.
No.
A good point.
Isn't that? I smell the scent of mint.
No other study could show you this.
Oh, it's a bubble. Go away. The final demonstration. Isn't that?
A new hypothesis.
Welcome to the world of numbers. Intersect and divide.
Confirm the coordinates.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
Plant and let's see. Okay.
Keep the sample. A good point. A new hypothesis.
Isn't that?
Taking another look. Behold.
Oh, it's a bubble. Professional.
A good point.
Oh, that's 2 stars.
A new hypothesis.
And
It could be even that.
The benefits of field mapping.
Aha. Intersect and divide. Huh.
Don't touch the device. courage. A perfect demonstration.
It could be found. Keep up the pace.
Calculating distance.
Are you a rational numbers? Rational.
I wonder what mapping is.
An academic question.
Final demonstration. Given that.
Limited scale, infinite lines.
Welcome to the world of numbers. Huh. Time to check my calculation.
I will remember your sacrifice.
A good point.
Oops, wait a sec. Let's do this then.
I admire your
A new
courage.
hypothesis. A perfect demonstration.
Here.
Taking another look. Behold.
Keep going. For our dream, comrade.
Keep the sample. A new a good point.
I can hear it.
Taking another look. Confirm the coordinates.
Hold.
Relax.
A new hypothesis. A good point.
Please, don't resist.
No other study could show you this. Behold.
It is here.
A new hypothesis.
I can hear it. It is here.
A good point. A new hypothesis. Confirm the coordinates. Taking another look.
Liam! Stop.
An academic question. A good point. A new hypothesis. Limited scale, infinite lines. Calculating distance. The benefits of field mapping.
No worries.
A good point. A new hypothesis.
Come back to me.
No other study could show you this. Confirm the coordinates.
Victory secured. I should excuse myself.
Let's see. 47.
Who ate beans? Given
A
that,
good point. A new hypothesis.
intersect and divide.
Behold. Taking another look. Bien.
It could be found.
I will remember your sacrifice.
A good point.
Intersect and divide.
Jump face. Calculating distance.
How troublesome.
We share the same
I
dream.
can't do the ultimate name.
A new hypothesis.
Given that, it could be found.
The benefits of field mapping.
Oh, there's a bubble. Huh. Time to check my calculation. Go away.
Still sealed. I can't do it.
A good point. A new hypothesis.
Given that,
Confirm the coordinates. No other study could show you this.
uh-huh. The final demonstration.
We share the same dream.
An academic question.
Welcome to the world of numbers.
To a brighter future for everyone.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Calculating distance.
It could be found.
A new hypothesis. A good point.
Intersect and divide.
The benefits of field mapping. Confirm the coordinates.
Buffs.
Given that,
A new hypothesis. A good point.
form is a bubble.
We worked on this collaboration together.
None recommends. Okay.
Who ate beans?
Alright, oh. So,
Another jar?
A good point.
It's newly made this year.
Thank you for your cooperation.
There they are.
Behold.
Enjoy! The eagle's eyes. Ha! Got you.
no buffs. Okay.
Another jar? It's newly made this year. Could be fun. Keep in that. You don't want to miss it. Uh-huh. Intersect and divide. Lord, take the offensive. Hey!
Okay.
Another jar could be fun. It's newly made this year.
A new hypothesis.
Got you. Intersect and divide. Let's get it over quick.
Calculating distance.
Lord, take the offensive. Please don't worry about me. It's wrong. There they are. Coming.
A good point. A new hypothesis.
I'll fill the cup for you. I remember it's called lending a hand. One, two, three,
Oh, so yeah, she's a P3 for me.
6,
Okay, so
7.
what do I need? 9, okay, so.
Keep the sample.
I can hear it. It's newly made this year.
A good point.
Tu peux la jeter maintenant, ta charme
There
d'opère.
they are.
Calculating distance.
Target locked. Ha!
A new hypothesis. A good point.
Just right. Another jar?
Confirm the coordinates.
You don't want to miss it. Lord, take the offensive. Ha! What a tragedy.
I will remember your sacrifice. I admire your courage.
Newly made this year. Soffoca il sangue. Soffoca il sangue.
Heart scared. Together, we are furious.
Got you. Lord, take the offensive. Ha! It's wrong.
We share the same dream.
Coming.
I admire your courage.
Another jar?
To a brighter future for everyone.
I'll fill the cup for you.
For you and for us.
There they are. Lord, take the offensive. The eagle's eyes. Ha!
A new hypothesis.
It's newly made this year. I can hear it.
A good point. Calculating distance.
Let's get it over quick.
No other study could show you this.
Lord, take the offensive. The eagle's eyes. Ha!
Good day, y'all. Welcome back. So almost, this is the last part of the event thing. So then, I think we should be good for I think reverse 99 for like a couple more days until the new update comes out. Let's see. Where's the health?
I will remember your sacrifice.
An academic question.
Coming.
Together, we are fierce.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Behold.
Nice, I think we take it down now.
I remember it's called
Lending
Lending
a
a
Hand. Collect everything. So I want to check, so we finished Silver Knot and also the antidote.